'Cause I wonder where you are, and I wonder where you've been. I don't know the lyrics. He's gonna bust my ass. Well, that's my own version of the song. I'm not so good with time. I tried to go live with 10-minute countdown, and it turns out that I blink like that. It's already 7:23. If you're watching this after the fact, of course, if you just want the story, you want to see me read you the story, this beautiful, craggy mug to read you a new tale, then you want to go over here to 00:00, and guess what? You'll get to hear the read. But if you want to hang out, well, hello, Cobalt. How are you? If you're watching after the fact and you want to see how I interact with all these lovely motherfuckers that are popping in right here, like Don Shipley, Cobalt, Rich Hosek, you know what? Hang out, because I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, gosh, if only there was a way to, be live and watch you guys live and be in the chat room like Brian Leach, who's talking shit about my impromptu singing voice. You can do that because we do this live, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, every fucking Wednesday, almost every Wednesday, at facebook.com/Scott Sigler, youtube.com/Scott Sigler, twitch.tv/Scott Sigler, where you're probably watching the shit right now. One of those three things. John Bivens in the house. Got your cheers right here, buddy. Rich No in the house. Recluse Mage. Martin. D7. I got to see D79 at Dragon Con. It was delightful. Everybody, D79 is just a prince of a guy. Prince of a guy in person. It's fantastic. Rob out. God damn it. Why didn't you say that fucking before, Rob? You know why? Because it's too late to start at 111 this week. You dick. Anyways. Brian Leach, go to hell. Rich Hosek, September. Dr. Danny Baker's in the house. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Dylan says, I have plumbing class on Wednesdays now, so I've been missing the live stream. Got out early enough today. Scott, what is up, my boy? Dylan, I appreciate you shirking your working so you can come hang out with us. It's going to be very fun. Christine says, Slay episode 110, one of my favorites. We'll see what you think after Slay episode 111. Sean Dyer in the house. Sean Dyer was also at Dragon Con. Cheers to you, Sean. It was delightful to get to hang out with him. Edward Rocco, what is up, sir? Dr. T. Campbell into here. Stephen Bloomfield, I'm here. Please entertain me. Stephen, that's what Rob and I do. We just entertain people. We've always done it. Oh, yeah, shit. Sorry, D79. Thanks for the reminder. All right. Tonight's live read is Slay episode 111, just the tip. I published that episode title without talking to Rob or A about it. I got a under the brow glare from A, like, really? I'm sure Rob loves it, would be my guess. Tonight's deep cuts is, remember, after we finish with the story, we shut it down, and then we start it back up again. And that's when we come back with the deep cuts. And tonight's deep cuts is our 2025 summer movies and how we save money at the theater. It's not rocket science, but it's how we do it. I'm sure Rob has already seen every goddamn movie that we're going to talk about because Rob does nothing but watch movies and solve problems. That's what Rob Otto does. Of course, let's go to the basics, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get that timer up. I already got the guess. I didn't even start yet. I got the guess. This is crazy. Sorry. That's not working. I got to see. I'll fix shit as I go. That's great. I love it. I forgot what I'm looking for here. This is info and empty set. Where the fuck was that? Let's see if this works. Text. No, that doesn't work either. You son of a bitch. How many times do I got to fucking tell you to get this stuff fixed? And let's go newsletter, because that's probably broken too. So this is the great thing you find when you're doing these things. Let's go to chat so I can see you guys. Is every time you change one thing, it breaks a bunch of other things. So now that we're going to have a second instance of OBS, which is what we use to stream this to you for deep cuts, it somehow breaks all of the buttons in Stream Deck, which were used to bring up the graphics and change scenes and all that other happy horse shit. You guys don't give a shit. You don't care. You don't give a damn. See, now that timer's gone. Goodness gracious. Let's go. Motherfucker. We're going to do this. We're going to go with this. We'll stick with this. Fuzzbubble Solid Toxic Avenger. It's so funny. Good. I've been waiting to decide if I'm going to go see that until I hear from some of you bitches. So that is good to know. Let's see. We'll talk about, can we get to Maine? Let's see if this shit works. It's so many problems. You know, we got to pay bills and shit. So if you are a person who uses coupon sites, boom, CJ, GoDaddy code CJCFOSSIG3. They won't give me a simple fucking code if you need a new domain. Go there and you get 99% off your first year and a 3-year .com domain. That's a good fucking deal, no matter who the hell you are. Stamps.com. If you need to ship stuff, if you have a small business and you mail things, you want this. We've been using this for 20 years. Stamps.com. Use the code Sigler100 to save a bunch. And the other one is, this is, sometimes I get fancy. You bitches can't stop me. Sometimes I dress, t-shirt and jeans or whatever and flip-flops. But sometimes I want to put on a nice little cashmere sweater, get all macked out to take my girl out for drinks and what have you, or get some, cool pants I can wear to the beach, to the barbecue, to work. It doesn't matter. Quince.com/Sigler. You get 365 days of returns if you want to and free shipping. It's the fucking bomb. So you guys can just use that. You can do that shit and share those bitches if you want to. That's how it goes. So let's go back to Maine. We are at Maine. What? See, I don't got my timer. Go back to opening. 1 minute, 31 seconds, you fucks. Then we're going to read a story. And what a story it is. A liked it. Rob liked it. Rob modified it. I hope Rob likes the modifications. D79 says, Cobalt USA. Scott drowned out the karaoke next door with his awesomeness. Fuck karaoke, bitches. Don't get me wrong. I love karaoke. I love to take country standards and go up and sing it in a full death metal growl. Because it freaks out the normies. The muggles don't like it. The muggles do not like it. Speaking of muggles, University of Tennessee was in Atlanta for a football game. I don't know who they played. Maybe Rob can fill us in. But watching some very uptight conservative people completely decked out in their school colors, down to their shoelaces, down to the shoes, their pants, look down their nose at all the cosplayers, be like, there's a lot of weirdos here. You're like, bitch, look at yourself. Look at yourself. You look like a fan. And that's what these people are too. They're fans. So maybe Rob can tell us what that game was. It happens every year because Dragon Con coincides with the opening week of college football. So it's great. All right. Love Shack with a growl is good too. Got it, Steven. So let's get to work. Let's go. That's fucking LFG. Rob probably has to explain to you all what LFG means because, Rob knows. Rob's an expert in many things, many, many things. Syracuse. Why was Tennessee and Syracuse playing in Atlanta? I don't understand. Doesn't fucking matter. Let's get ready because it's time to get sweaty. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Get that up, and we're going to get right in. We're going to jump right in this bitch. Hold on, get this recording. Boom. Testing. Testes. 1, 2, 1, 2. And let's go. Previously on Slay. Linc and the gang made their way through the anemone chamber only to find that Dante's inside man was dead, turned into an anemone bush after a polyp attack took certain liberties with his backside. The vault, that vault also held what they reached Callista's vault and found what they had come for. The dormantus, a piece of Callista's soul that channels illegal magic energy from the anemone bushes to wherever she is. That dormantus is the evidence Dante needs to blackmail Callista with ease. The vault, sometimes when you copy and paste from a program to another, crazy shit goes on. Here we go. That dormantus is the evidence Dante needs to blackmail Callista into giving him her criminal empire, which will allow him to free Linc's son, Samuel, from his imprisonment on the shelf. Those polyps, though, have more desires of their own. They seem drawn to Billy, drawn to the filament within him. The 18-inch-long phallic creatures follow him around, asking questions no one understands. While the language barrier does exist, everyone knows what the polyps want. Billy's bunghole. They want to turn him into an anemone bush and start a new generation of evil. Will they tap that ass? Find out next on Slay, episode 111. Fight their way out, Dante had said. Easier said than done. Magda counted 100 cultists blocking the way, with more filtering in from areas at the cavern's edges, from behind boulders, creeping around anemone bushes. Some stumbling, stoned to the gills, but all armed in one way or another. Walt, get on Magda's left, Lincoln said. The rest of you, get behind her. Bastard maker in his free hand, Linc crutch walked to Magda's right as the others did what he asked. The curved wall of cultists stood there, a drugged-out wave of psychos about to crash against the rocks. It reminded Magda of Frankenstein's mob, except the torch and pitchfork-wielding villagers included orcs, an ettercap, a bison woman, a tattooed fairy, and plenty more. Magda had to focus. Every centimeter of her being itched. Her skin crawled. Not because of the cultists, but from the walls closing in around her, from the armor, confining her even though she moved freely. Whatever the special mental sauce that let had let her, this metaphorical part of her anyway, be outside the church, that sauce was running out. She wanted to wake up. She wanted to be in her home. But not yet. She had to hold on. Linc needed her. Billy needed her. Kapatanu? One of the obnoxiously phallic polyps asked. Pabukachu? Asked another. Oh Lord, how she itched. My cousin die because polyps slam up his jupa and turn him into evil shrubbery, Dante said. I am not going to go out like that. Get me out of here, man in gray, or your son will never be free. The reminder of the stakes helped Magda steel herself against her creeping agoraphobia. It was all or nothing now. Sam's one chance. We're all leaving, Linc said. And when we do, you better deliver on that promise. Dante shrugged. What else could he do? If his blackmail plan didn't work, he knew full well that Linc and Franks would come for him. Magda didn't know what type of rounds the gold-plated magical Yakby minigun fired. She did know, though, that it held 500 of them. Not in a belt or a backpack, but baked into the weapon itself. She knew that because the instant she'd picked it up, that number flashed in her vision. A filamental connection between weapon and operator. She didn't even need the trigger, which was good considering the thickness of her armored fingers. The Yakby would fire on the operator's mental command. Fucking fantastic meshcraft. Whoever made this beast, they knew what they were doing. Linc held Bastard Maker in one hand, his crutch loosely in the other. He tested his full weight on his bad leg. Mags, he said, wincing. Will that golden gadget actually work? Despite the itch, despite her goddamn batshit crazy brain, it felt so good to fight alongside him again. I don't know, she said. Only one way to find out. Linc nodded, his smoke-horned haze of Cimarel bobbing in time. Magda saw the telltale grin ticking up the corners of his mouth. For all of the things that Linc sucked at, and there were many, he excelled at fighting, at killing. Violence was the one language he spoke better than anyone else, and he was ready to drop some pure poetry on these poor bastards. Everyone, get ready, he said. We cut straight through them. Mags leads. We fall in behind her. I cover her right flank. Walt, you cover her left. The rest of you, stay close. On 3. 1, 2. Billy ran forward, putting himself between Linc and the cultists. Hold on a second, he said in a rush. We can't just kill these people. They're addicts, man. They're not in control. We got to try and talk our way out. The quivering polyps, a dozen of them now, bounced in excitement, pointed their bulbous heads toward Billy. Magda mentally eased off the trigger. Optimistic Billy. Sensitive Billy. He had become so strong, so good at fighting, that Magda kept forgetting how young he was, how foolishly naive he was. With that skin-tight white armor, the shotgun stock sticking up over his shoulder, and his black satin-sheen Yogai-Gatone staff in his hands, Billy Middleton looked every inch the cold-blooded killer. But he wasn't. Not yet. He hadn't seen the things that Linc and Magda had seen, hadn't done the things that they had done. Billy was still a good person. Walt, Linc said, the single syllable dripping with venom. These fuckwits don't look like they want to have a goddamn family meeting in the living room to discuss not using up all the hot water with long showers. You know what I mean? Now, get behind Mags. We've got work to do. Billy did not get behind Mags. Instead, he pointed to Faceless. Mistress Callista, he said, can you ask these nice people to clear the way? Silence. Wait a come? Asked a polyp. Poo-poo parnay? Asked another. These creatures wanted Billy. Were they about to sting him? He held his staff at the ready, even as his eyes flicked from one polyp to another to another. Walter, Linc said, if you don't do what I told you to do, I'm going to— Calista! Billy slammed his staff into the ground. Get your bitch ass here and talk to these people! Magda sensed Linc's blistering rage. If they made it back to the church in one piece, he would skin Billy alive. But the kid's insistence worked. Faceless/Callista took 3 steps closer to the ark of the cult. Faceless/Callista took 3 steps closer to the ark of cultists, decided that was a bit too close, then took 2 steps back. Make way for your mistress. Her voice rang loud but lacked any feel of command. She was terrified. The messed up situation had finally gotten to her. We must head back to the club. Please, make way. The crowd of hard-eyed cultists did not budge. Lickabawa? A polyp asked. Getty-poo-goo? Asked another. Their swollen heads swelled a bit more. The cavern's sunshine yellow glow reflected off 2 taut skin. Linc took a step closer to Billy. Linc slid Bastard Maker into his cloak and drew his pistol. He put his weight on his bad leg, testing it further. Merc, you better get up here and help your mistress, Linc said, or the first bullet I fire will be at your dick. The smallest smile from Billy. Linc was backing his play. Magda didn't think Linc would actually shoot Mercutio in the dick or anywhere else, but with Linc, one could never assume such things. Mercutio must have believed it, because he stepped forward and stood at Faceless/Callista's side. 2 impossibly beautiful people staring down a mob of armed, carved-up addicts. Listen to me, he said. You are all here because Mistress Callista allows it. You get to practice your religion because she allows it. Now, honor your host and step aside. The mob didn't flinch. The polyps ignored both Mercutio and Faceless/Callista. They only had eyes, or tips, for Billy. Magda heard a new noise, a spurting, disgusting squelch, so loud it echoed off the cavern walls. "Who is shitting pants?" asked Dante. "Sounded like someone had bad borscht." The noise was coming from the anemone bush that had blossomed from the inside man, Dante's yellow tracksuit-wearing cousin. There, one of the foot-long, plum-colored growths curving up from a branch shuddered. It contracted, as if some invisible fist was wrapped around it and squeezing. Another squelch. A burst of green-tinged gloops squirted out the bottom of the growth and splashed against the cavern ground. Then, with a sound Magda could only think of as echoing elephant diarrhea, something shot out of the growth's bottom in a repulsive spray of tacky, moist gloop. It thudded against the ground beneath. The pile of goop-wet stuff wiggled. It was a polyp. Stubby tentacles wriggled. The curved body rose up. In words Magda instantly wished had not popped into her mind, the polyp became erect. "Keep up, no?" it asked. The polyps already standing with the cultists began to bounce up and down, chirping with intense delight. "Oh no," Mercutio said. "The bushes think it's time to breed. We're going to have a bunch more of these things on our hands." The jiggling little newborns scurried to the line. The cheers of the other turgid demons ceased. From far off in the cavern, another elephant splatter fart echoed off the walls and the ceiling. "Man, and I thought facehuggers were fucked up," Billy said. "Xenomorphs ain't got nothing on this shit." A polyp slid forward, out of the line, toward Billy, its stubby tentacle legs vibrating. Billy took a step back, staff raised to defend himself against the creature. The polyp stopped, made that talking noise, only this time it wasn't asking a question. "Chimmick!" It shimmied, the 1.5-foot long body twitching like shaken jello. "Chimmick-a-wah!" Its tentacle base suddenly expanded, swelled. Then that swelling raced up its length like a cartoon character swallowing something too big for its throat, but in reverse. "Chimmick-a-wah!" A teal-colored energy shot out of the swollen tip, spraying at Billy, who raised a hand to cover his face. An instant reaction, the wrong reaction. The man in gray's crutch slammed into Billy, knocking him clear of the luminous goop, which continued on and splatted against Mercutio's chest. A money shot from hell itself. Mercutio's eyes and mouth went wide, a scream frozen in his throat as he fell back, twisted, and landed face first, his body convulsing. The polyp's turgid body sagged some, skin now loose and wrinkled, but it wasn't done with Mercutio. It slowly moved toward him, tip leaning forward toward the man's butt. "Well, fuck," Linc said. "Now you've all gone and pissed me off." He shot the polyp. The bullet tore it in two like it was a walking water balloon filled with Smurf jizz. Both parts dropped to the ground, motionless and as dead as a used condom. As if Linc's single shot was the report of a starter's pistol, the mob of cultists roared in unbridled rage. They charged in. So much for talking. Magda stepped forward, over Mercutio, protecting him. "Let's rock," she said, as she willed the gold-plated minigun to open fire. Billy grabbed faceless Callista and yanked her behind the black armor as the minigun opened up with a ripping cough. Tongues of emerald light licking from the 4 rotating barrels, picking up speed until they became a golden blur, and the cough transformed into a hateful roar of death. Cultists broke apart in a churning cloud of flesh and blood, their bodies ripped to pieces like fresh ground hamburger. Mags whipped the weapon from left to right, mowing down the oncoming wave, but the cultists didn't turn and run. They closed in from the sides, throwing rocks and spears, firing guns. Billy pushed faceless Callista against Magda's back just as an orc with a broken spiral symbol carved into each gray cheek swung an axe. Billy knew he had short-circuited when the polyp shot that electric jizz at him, but this time Linc's training took control. Billy parried the axe aside with one end of Yoga Katane, brought the other end up sharply under the oversized chin. The orc toppled back. The cultist murder chorus screamed. Magda's weapon barked in tight bursts. Linc's pistol cracked, as did the lighter pops from Dante's strange little handgun. A drooling woman fired a shotgun. Billy felt the impact through his armor, but no pain. He drove the staff into her mouth, shattering teeth and jaw. She dropped as 2 men rushed over her, one with a short sword, the other lunging with a spear. Billy bobbed left as he pulled his staff apart, exposing Yogadagane's twin-grooved blades. The spear tip punched through the air where his face had just been. He blocked the incoming short sword with one blade, drove the point of the second through the swordsman's eye. The spearman drew back for another stab, but crumpled when Billy's boot slammed into his crotch. "Stay behind me," Armor Magda shouted. Her big legs rumbled forward, and her golden gun barked death. Faceless Callista followed, one hand on the armor's backplate. Cray Bray tucked in next to her hands digging into her hemp bag. The hooting bellow of a bison. The big buffalo woman in the Atlanta Falcon shirt thundered in, running on both hands and legs, 300 pounds of muscle and wide black eyes. If Billy dodged, the wrecking ball would slam into Faceless, Cray, and undercut Magda's legs. The bison woman lowered her short-horned heads. Billy planted his feet and threw his shoulder forward to meet her. It was like trying to stop a Mack truck. The impact rattled every bone in his body, sent him stumbling back, but stopped her cold. She staggered to the right as 2 more drugged-out, screaming cultists rushed past her, one with a pitchfork and one with a MAC-10 machine gun. One with a MAC-10 submachine gun. The pitchfork point drove for Billy's chest. Off balance and wobbly from the bison's blow, he tried to parry the strike to the side but didn't get a clean hit. One of the pitchfork's points punched into his left bicep, partially penetrating his armor. The piercing pain stunned him for a moment, and in that moment, he felt the fire that was not fire boil inside him. The compact MAC-10's barrel swung toward his face. Left arm still impaled, he swung with his right-hand blade. The gunman leaned back just enough for Yoga Katane's lethal tip to whiz by without drawing blood. The pitchfork wielder pushed forward, pushing Billy back, deepening the agony in his left arm. The MAC-10 barrel rose again, the gunman's angry eyes so dilated his irises were inky black discs. Cray Bray leaned past Billy's right shoulder. She raised a thin bamboo shaft to her lips. And blew. A glittering dust cloud billowed into the gunman's face. Dozens of sickly white fungal spires burst from his skin, sprouting like demonic little fountains that froze solid when they hit air. He opened his mouth to scream. More spires burst from his tongue. Several pierced his neck from the inside out. He dropped the MAC-10 and grabbed at his throat as he collapsed. Billy brought his right-hand blade up in a rising strike that cut the pitchfork shaft in two, then twisted his wrist to windmill the edge into the attacker's neck. The attacker's severed head tumbled away, seemingly propelled by a burst spray of blood. "Walter-san, hold still!" Faceless/Callista grabbed the shattered pitchfork shaft and yanked the tine out of Billy's arm. "Kid, get over here and protect our right flank!" Billy, Cray, and Faceless/Callista had fallen behind the striding suit of armor. Linc had a twitching Mercutio over his left shoulder and his Vepr 12 automatic shotgun in his right hand, taking out monsters and humans alike. Each Magda-made meshwork round burst in a tiny fireworks show, sparkling lava-covered tendrils arcing down far slower than the dead or screaming victim. The pungent scent of burned sausage joined the punishing stench of pus. Dante, the smallest of their party, shuffled along at Linc's side, using his scroll-wrapped pistol to shoot at cultists who tried to circle around behind. More cultists and polyps were racing in from the right, trying to get between Billy and Magda. Blood coursing down his white armor, Billy urged Cray and Faceless/Callista toward the black-armored juggernaut. He scarcely heard the thrum of a bowstring and the hiss of an arrow before a bolt punched deep into his right hip. He felt metal hit bone, an ice-cold stab of agony. The fire that was not fire roared within him like a caged dragon, dulling his thoughts, slowing him just as much as the pain did. He could kill these assholes. He could kill all of them and turn the bushes to ash. He simply had to release the heat beast from its prison inside of him. It fought to get out, to overwhelm him, to take over, to punish those who had dared to attack him. He could flood his power into the grooves of Yogagatani's blades, unleash hell itself upon his enemy. The pain. Morgan's stone, teaching him how to hold the agony at bay, not to let it master him, how to keep control. He could do it. "Walter-san, look out!" 5 attackers and a polyp sprinted toward him, intent on cutting him off from the others and finishing him in a metallic blur of knives, axes, and daggers. Armor Magda turned right. A barking burst of flashing emerald fire. The 5 attackers... A barking line of flashing emerald fire. The 5 attackers burst apart like raw eggs filled with blood and meat. She then faced forward and marched on, her Nike knockoff high tops taking big strides. A flash of movement near the ground. Magda had slaughtered the man-sized attackers, but missed the short little polyp. It darted in on its stubby tentacles, phallic body swelling obnoxiously. "Shimikawaba! Yeah!" The disgusting thing let loose a blast of sticky blue that splashed against Cray's face. She grunted in surprise, then squealed in choking agony as she fell, shuddering. The polyp, now half saggy, its formerly taut skin slack, scurried toward her, shaking like a horny monkey. It would reach her before Billy reached it. He saw the filament within the polyp, coursing madly like a barely contained tornado. He flung his right-hand blade. It spun through the air, cleaving the polyp in two before continuing on, clanging against the ground and skittering across dirt and stone. Faceless/Callista shimmered and was Faceless/Callista no more. The pale-skinned, burlap sack-wearing Noperabo scooped up Cray and ran to Magda, walking in the armor's lee. Billy moved to retrieve his blade, but a new wave of cultists rushed in. A sliver of his awareness reeled at the horror around him, at the lives he had just taken, at the brutal efficiency with which he had done it. Only a sliver, though, as the heat brewing inside him told him that these fuckers had brought it on themselves, told him that they all deserved to die. He slid half of Yogatagane back into its holster, and in that same motion, he drew his KSG-12 shotgun. A 4-foot-tall cyclops wearing a filthy newsboy beanie charged in, a baseball bat angled for a kneecap strike. Billy put his first round into the bastard's chest. Lava fireworks flared out like the limbs of a glowing, ghostly crab. Sliding the bullpup shotgun slide back hurt his arm, but he racked and fired. A man dropped. Then the tatted-up fairy woman's head exploded in a burst that set off smaller, secondary fireworks. A huge ettercap swung a medieval morning star. Billy ducked the strike and put a round in its prodigious belly. Fireworks burst forth from between its blue pincers and its drugged-out black eyes. Billy heard the crackling sizzle of a polyp letting loose, but it wasn't on his side of the fight. "You missed me, bitch!" Dante called out. Some of the attackers finally backed off, taking cover behind boulders and running behind the brightly colored anemone bushes, making way for the black armor. "Reload!" Linc called out. "Make it fast!" "And keep moving," Armor Magda said. "I'm almost out." The party moved closer to the alarm mushrooms. As the party moved closer to the alarm mushrooms, Billy pulled shells from his bandolier and reloaded his shotgun. His hip hurt so bad he could barely see, and it didn't work so well. He dragged his leg more than he used it. It slowed him considerably. Dante was limping too, the left thigh of his red tracksuit gleaming with blood. Lincoln carried Mercutio. Faceless carried Cray Cray Bray. They weren't about to sprint for the finish line, but maybe they could escape after all. The cultists had basically vanished. The alarm mushrooms and the way out of this cavern were less than 50 feet ahead. Behind Billy and the others, a grisly trail of dead and dismembered cultists and slashed polyps. The dead and half of Yogatagane. He had left it behind. Fuck. His blade. An instinct, one that he knew somehow came from Yogatagane, blossomed in his mind. He knew how to get his weapon back. Reversing his motions of only a few moments before, Billy slid his shotgun into its back holster and drew the single Yogatagane's blade. The Jorogumo-created weapon could channel his power, but it also contained meshwork of its own. Billy saw inside the metal, read the frequency of the magic there. He focused. He flipped the blade, pointing the staff handle's butt end toward the half he had left behind. A rope spark of glowing, bleach-white mesh lashed out from the butt, snapping across the distance like the crackling arc of laboratory gear in an old-timey mad scientist movie. The rope spark hit the lost blade's handle, and the two halves were connected by the energy. Billy's mind gave a tug. The lost half shot through the air toward him, pulled by the glowing mesh. Billy pointed his sword tip forward. The two blades slid into their opposite halves' narrow slots, and just like that, Yogatagane was a solid staff again. 30 feet to the exit now. He heard the alarm mushrooms murmuring amongst themselves. Then he heard something that stilled him. Dozens of reverberating splatter-fart squelches and dozens of plop sounds of newly hatched polyps glooping onto the ground. "Peekaboo! Chickaloo! Chang-bang-a-goo!" The high-pitched questions came from all sides, but mostly from the front, from a pair of bushes that flanked the path some 15 feet away. 6 polyps, 3 on each side, rose up, their curved bodies jiggling, wobbly strands of slime stretching from them to the ground. One of the 18-inch dongs bounced up and down. "Boonamaga!" it cried. Let me show you that again. "Boonamaga!" it cried, in a tiny yet terrifying war cry. Then all 6 rushed forward, bobbling from side to side. Magda's golden minigun coughed to life. The polyps burst apart in comical sprays of blue energy. All except for one. With a clank, the golden gun stopped firing. "Shit," Armor Magda said. "I'm out." The last polyp began to swell. "Agoo! Agee! Agee!" The crack of Dante's pistol ended the perverted noise in a balloon pop of blue magic. As that energy dropped down and sizzled into nothing, Billy saw deeper into the filament. So much power. Enough to paralyze a grown man, even someone as big as Bobby the Minotaur. Maybe even bigger. It wasn't just the paralysis itself. The filament's vibrating frequency informed Billy it was a building block of magic. A self-perpetuating material that could, maybe, bond with someone, become a part of them the same way gut bacteria are part of your digestive tract. That wasn't exactly the right analogy, but it was in the ballpark. The filament within the polyps was a magical catalyst. He looked to the anemone bushes ahead, the twisting cherry red trunks, the clusters of tentacles, lipstick pink on the left one, plasma blue on the other, waving as if from some invisible ethereal current. The current. Filament whirling within the bushes. Filament the same frequency as that of the polyps. Billy couldn't see the magic in the air, but in a rush, he understood the connection. The bushes generated a magical tide of sorts, a tide that could be harnessed just as a dam harnesses a river's unrelenting flow. Some of that current flowed into the dormantus, which transported it to Callista. She had power on tap anytime she wanted it, but at such a price. "Blazing hells," Linc said. "The rubes figured out Mags's new toy is dry. What do you think, Walter? Should you ask them to part for us again? Maybe if you say, 'Pretty please' with sugar on top, this time it'll work." Billy had been so focused on the goop, he hadn't noticed the remaining cultists quietly fading back and circling around. 50 of them, at least, stood in front of the alarm mushrooms, blocking the way out. They readied their weapons. Dilated eyes stared out, curled lips revealed teeth and fangs. No, he wasn't going to ask them, or have anyone else ask either. He had tried to solve this without death. The cultists chose violence. It no longer mattered if they were addicts, if they were in control of their choices or not. He and his friends were getting out of this place. The last of the splatterfart echoes died down. Polyps called from all over the cavern. "Koopa Ramoo! Pikajagoo! Bandagame!" How many of them were there now? Too many, and they wanted to kill him. "Uh-oh," the big red alarm mushroom said. "Looks like someone is about to get their back door broken in. Several someones. Children, can you say anal intrusion? I knew you could." The mushroom broke into cap-twitching laughter. The other mushrooms joined in, the funniest thing any of them had ever heard. From across the cavern came a cacophony of echoing, stomach-churning, monstrous flatulence, followed by the sloshing sound of newly extruded polyps. Oh boy. "I don't like it here," Billy said. I really don't like it here." I think Dr. Dan Baker, PhD, nailed it. He said, Scott has been preparing this episode his whole life. And in a way, that's true, because Rob and Dan and I have a friend. His name is Scott Christian. And Scott Christian, his idea of comedy is twofold. Number one, he tells incredibly bad jokes. I'll tell the Buster Brown bad joke in a moment. They're the worst jokes I've ever heard that anyone's ever told. They make no sense. But at the end of every joke, Christian would do this. You say the punchline, go. As if that punchline was the greatest thing that anyone had ever heard in their life. And you couldn't help but laugh at him, even though he's telling incredibly bad jokes. The other thing that Scott Christian would do for comedy, if he's at a party or at a bar, and he's a great big guy, very nice guy, but he's at a party bar and he's talking to someone who's boring him or he doesn't like, he would do this shit. He would go, he would just make that coming noises and gesture as if he was that guy in Silence of the Lambs, just flinging jizz all about the place. And yes, I've been making that noise, emulating Christian for many years, and I finally got to put in a story, and I'm absolutely fucking delighted. It's great. All right, here we go. Great. Klusmage says, great fight scene. Cobalt says, legendary. Steve Bloomfield says, awesome. Dr. T. Campbell, awesome as always. Ricky Berg, legend. Ari. Rich No says, holy shit, that was funny and gory. Just perfect. Bravo. I'm glad that you guys like this stuff. What did somebody else say? Cobalt. Although this would be hard to explain to anyone walking into the room in this episode playing. That's a straight up fact. You go, hi, baby. Here's. Not here yet. Did I have your mic on? I did not. That's my mic. Oh, she's not here yet. I will say, though, that this episode is nothing compared to the next two. Well, okay. There won't be as much splatter fart, echoing elephant diarrhea. We're not going to have quite as much of that. But, sup, Joseph Aldred? Welcome. What we are going to get is some fucking heroic shit. It's heroism all the way down for the rest of this series and, for the rest of this season. And I'm not going to give you any other spoilers. I'm not going to give you any other spoilers. Steve Rickenberg said, it's like the person that wandered into one for the junkies at Dragon Con with no idea what was going on. Oh, if you walk into one of my panels and it's like my panel, I'm not just on the panel, you're going to go through some things. You're going to go through some things, especially if you're a proper church-going young man or young woman. You're going to be like, what is happening? Let me get that free bit.
Absolutely going to fall.
What's that?
The hard rain is absolutely going to fall.
What's the hard rain?
If you walk into one of your panels.
But what is the hard rain? Is that a thing?
Pretty much.
Oh, I'm going to rain down on them, motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's sort of.
All right, let's get. Oop. Turn up my shwarmy. Ladies and gentlemen, look who came in.
Hi, you guys.
Oh, shit. Hold on. I got to fix this, too.
That sounded great to me.
You heard it?
Yeah.
You heard the applause?
No, I didn't hear the applause.
Yeah, see, you know what?
I didn't know applause were coming.
Just check your pie hole. That's
shut your cake hole.
Shut your cake hole. Hold on, I got to do this.
Once,
I'm going to get my fucking cue.
Well, he does that. I will tell you, once a million years ago, he was like, is it you who said, shut your pie hole? I was like, no, I'm pretty sure that's Chris Farley down by the river. Shut your pie hole. It's not me. And he was like, no, I'm pretty sure it's you. I was like, yeah, I've never said that.
Ladies and gentlemen, look who's here.
Nothing.
The light of my life has entered the room.
I hope you made it home okay.
Rob says, you were always followed by applause, and that is a fucking fact. That is a fucking fact. I love your whole
face, Rob.
You guys didn't hear the fucking applause?
I didn't hear the applause either.
Darn it. Let me just prove this real quick.
These are for you.
You guys should be hearing that shit. I can see it, motherfuckers.
Okay, is it a mix? Is it a cue thing?
I don't know. Fucking, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll do it in post.
Hey, Jimmy Mustache is in the house. What's up, Jimmy Mustache?
We'll make it in post.
We'll make it in post.
Opposite of
Tony's in the house. Tony, Jimmy, did you guys hear that episode? I think it came in a little late. Oh, Rob says we heard it the second time and just now. Great. I forget there's a fucking giant delay. You know why there's a delay? Because, hold on. I'll tell you why there's a delay. There we go. There's a delay because the censors want that delay on me so they can, silence, bleep my shit.
Because everybody hates applause.
They don't like echoing elephant diarrhea. They don't like it. So.
Okay, you make a good point. I sassed you. But, ooh, that was a rough episode. There's a lot of onomatopoeia in that episode, you guys. It's hard for me.
You want to know what else that censors don't like?
Listen. I hate to say this, but I have to share it with you, my friends. I am just cringing, like kind of bracing for impact for when one of them goes, yabba-dabba-doo. And if you do that, I will know that you hate me. I will know that you hate me.
I'll put that.
So we... Obviously, Scott told you all the things. We just got back from DragonCon. Everything's good. Did you want to start deep cuts, or do we want to do housekeeping now?
We do housekeeping, and then remember, I forgot to remind you guys, even though it's in the script, that what we do here now, until we find a new day for deep cuts, which we'll work on in a minute.
It is.
Oh, I forgot to read it. I didn't read the YouTube shit either. What we do is we stop this stream. We start a brand new stream. The reason we do that is because that gives us two separate videos on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch. That really helps our advertising for our search engine optimization for advertising. So we started to do that because that helps us out. That just means we're going to stop. You're going to chill your tits. I get the guess. You're going to chill your tits, and then we restart, and you guys all come back and hang out, because what we're going to be talking about is the 2025 summer movies that A and I have seen, and how we save money at the theater, because we are old and want to save money. Let's go to housekeeping.
All right.
You ready?
I am. Well, I do just want to say hello, Jimmy Mustache. Make sure you talk to your gorgeous spouse and have her tell you what I told her today. I can't share it here, but you deserve to hear it. Also, the Jax. So far,
the Jax is back. What's up, man?
Yeah, so nice to see you. We do remain healthy so far. We did take a ton of precautions. Not all the precautions, but a ton. We do so far have 2 friends who have colds, but are so far testing negative for the big bads, the flu, the RSV, and the COVID. But they have like concrete colds. I hope you are the same.
Steve Bloomfield, chill your tits. Don't show your tits. Very different. In fact, the showing of tits is actually the opposite of chilling one's tits. Chill out. Relax. Babe, Steve, don't start with me. Don't.
Steve, is it not Mardi Gras?
No, it's also not Podcasters Gone Wild. Okay. Jesus.
Steve Rickenberg reminds us we had wanted to do this over the weekend several times. Forgot all of us all the time. Please, if you guys are interested in our live streams or Siglerism or the Siglerverse at large, and you're a Discord person, please go to scottsigler.com/Discord and join the Junkies Discord. Steve gloriously runs that for us.
Steve, I have a lower third for that, and I need to get it back on here. So just remind me tomorrow. I'll get that taken
before
care of.
DragonCon, we 3 talked about making sure we got that out there, and all 3 of us forgot.
We failed. All right, here we go.
Let's do some housekeeping.
Let's do our housekeeping, and we're going to jump into deep cuts. It's going to be super fun.
Do you want to put us mean?
Sure. Go to housekeeping. Here we go. Sunday, August 31st, Slay episode 110, Cover Your Bung, hit the feed. Tuesday, September 2nd, Deep Cuts episode 66, 20 years of podcasting. Then versus Now with Evo Terra, who is one of the founders of Podcast Fiction, went live in the feed. Tonight's Deep Cuts is our summer movie phase from the summer. Sunday, don't worry, I repeated many things in that goddamn script that we all missed.
Yeah.
I will tell you guys a brief interlude. I know the story is cooking when both Rob and A read it and just completely miss like the same shit said again, horrible misspellings, bad sentences, because they're just ripping through it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I take that as a compliment.
Yeah, you should.
Sunday, September 7th, tonight's episode, Slay Up 111, just the tip. Goes live in the feed. And we are done conventioneering for the year, but NFL football is back tomorrow, bitches. It's the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Dallas Cowboys. And I, for one, hope that the Philadelphia Eagles run a train on the Dallas Cowboys, because I do not like the Dallas Cowboys. I do not like Jerry Jones.
And
however,
also, who doesn't love the Birds?
The Birds, go Birds.
Go Eagles.
I will say I am a fan of some players on the Cowboys, which makes me feel dirty inside. But one of those players, unfortunately, just got traded to the goddamn fucking Packers. I'm very upset about this. Anyways, Saturday, September 6th is the junkie meetup. Do I have that shit?
Yeah, the junkie party. You sure do.
Hold on. Let's get that.
Maybe.
So what's, just so we can come back on this later, babe. What's happening is when I switch over to, I think I know what's going on. No, I don't.
D79, we were not selling any copy. We were not selling anything at DragonCon. We just went as marketing and fun and seeing our friends and being debaucherous. We never get a table at DragonCon, and we never show live things. Every once in a while, Scott's publishers will do that, but we don't have those kind of chops.
Chris Grawl's in the house setting up the fan duels tomorrow. We play fantasy football with Chris, Chris's wife. So it would keep it tight, keep it simple. I walk around with just a suit jacket and a shirt on, no pants. Go keep it tight.
I do think I will be joining at this weekend's Sigler Happy Hour for a little while, the Junkie Happy Hour for a little while. If you don't know, if you've never been, Scott never joins because he is in the studio.
I'm
with
in your
his band
faces all the
rehearsing.
time. I'm always free. I'm always fucking
so
here.
That's not a him thing. Sometimes he's at home and he'll drive by and like wave. But if I'm on, it's only me. But if you want to join and chat with me, go ahead and do that.
Do that. And as Sean Dyer says, yes, there were copies of the Crypt paperback and hardcover available for sale at the 8th on booth. Shakedown.
Yeah.
The Crypt Shakedown. No copies of Crypt Void Strike are available yet. I tried to get it done, but right now we're waiting on Ray Porter to do the audiobook. When Ray Porter's doing your audiobook, you chill your tits. You just put some ice in them nips. You just chill them out. You got to wait. Got to wait till he's done. Because if he can do that, when he gets it done, we'll have a simultaneous audiobook, ebook, and print release again in the same hardcover. And it's going to be fucking cool.
So if you have an idea, something you would like us to talk about on Deep Cuts, please do email info@emptyset. Recently, we have had a whole bunch of folks email like, I don't know if this is a great idea, but I just want to send it in to you. Yeah, send it in. I'm not sure if it's a great idea either, but if you have it and I don't, and it's a great idea, I'll never get it.
Darn.
So we've got several. As you guys already know, Sean, our friend Sean Dyer, who we saw this past weekend at DragonCon, he absolutely is great at sending in ideas about what he'd like to see us talk about, and it's just as easy as that. It doesn't have to be something that matters to anybody else but you. We may or may not do it, but I would love to hear from you at info@emptyset.
Did you know that D79 just sent himself to hell? Who does this? Why would someone want to send themselves to hell? Hell's not a good place. D79. No, I did not announce Warpath 2.
I can't. Like, bro, it's already over.
They
all the way down.
cannot fucking pay this kid enough money to write a Warpath 2. But I will tell you.
I mean, they could.
If there's going to be a Warpath 2, there will be signs. Pictures of me in a fucking Ferrari. That's going to be one of the signs.
An orange and black Ferrari.
Yeah, of course. That's what it's going to take to get this country ass into a fucking Warpath. That analogy fell apart. All right, here we go.
That is the end of our housekeeping, and Scott is going to have to stop here pretty soon and switch over to the new live stream.
We got stop, drop, and set up shop.
I'm going to tell you before we do that. We recently, Scott has taken to one night a week. He makes us martinis. He takes over. He makes all the things. And they're delicious. He calls them sigatinis or sigatinis.
Sigatinis.
They're a little strong. He had to dial it back a tiny bit because he used to do.
There should be
many of these.
4 more olives on this.
He used to do
to make a sigatini.
Like a shish kebab or a bamboo stick with as many olives that wouldn't tip over the little bitty glass, which looks like this. I can't do that. It's about 4.
Right.
And then 2 ounces of vodka, 1 ounce of vermouth, and 3 ounces of vodka, 2 ounces of vermouth, 1 ounce of olive juice. I can't handle that. So I made martinis because he was reading to you. while Scott is switching over, I'm going to pour these martinis, and when you come back on the screen next time, when you all come back and join us for Deep Cuts, we'll have martinis.
However,
and cheers you.
This next episode's going to suck, because if you guys type in your polyp jizzy sound, your polyp jizzy questions, I'm just going to fucking read them. I'm just going to read them. Those are very good. Chicka-jawee. Unfortunately, I yelled so much at Dragon Con that transition part going from the chest voice up into the falsetto is
that's
shot.
Nell, Steve.
So everything's breaking
Nell.
up. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We
Spike,
are going to.
You don't have to eat Olives, I'll always eat the olives in your food.
That we're going to stop right now. Here we go. Let's go back to main.
We'll see you soon.
Go back to this camera. Actually, let's get you dialed in, pumpkin butter. All right, here we go. And we will be back in a moment. You should see an alert pop up. If you don't see an alert pop up in the next 60 to 90 seconds, just refresh the page and you'll be good to go. Come on, we'll be right back.
There you go.
Chicken-a-boo.
And yes, Sean, all of it.
Give it a beep.